They came with a very clear message.
This is not normal at all. It's totally absurd. We couldn't even imagine that in a state with the minimum rule of law this can happen. And of course we will oppose it.
The government plans to demolish almost 5,000 Soviet-era five-story buildings. Over 1.5 million people will need to be relocated if it goes ahead. Nobody here wants to move, and there are many unanswered questions.
We have no idea where we're going to move, what kind of quality of new houses will be, and actually there is no structure, of how our property will be moved from the old apartment to a new apartment. There is no word about that, so we are actually giving away our property and we are getting nothing.
Some of the buildings on the demolition list were built under the Soviet leader Nikita Khrushchev in the early 60s. Known as Khrushchevki, basic prefabricated buildings and built with low-cost concrete blocks. Others are Stalin-era buildings like this one. This young family doesn't understand why their home is on the list. It is in perfectly good condition, they tell us.
It's easy to believe when you are told by the government that everything will be beautiful and they are demolishing bad buildings. Everyone will get a great flat and all will be well. That this is about people who live in catastrophic conditions and need to move out immediately. But this is actually not about that. It's not clear what it's about, but it's not about that.
Back at the protest, this lady shows us pictures of her home, surrounded by trees and a pond. Everyone tells us the government has no right to tell them where to live.
By Moscow's standards, this is a huge turnout, and Russians will tell you that they're often quite passive when it comes to coming down to the street to protest against issues that they're not happy with. But everyone here is telling us that this is different. This is deeply personal.
Moscow's mayor has responded on social media, saying their concerns will be taken seriously. But that hasn't reassured anyone here. They say they will continue to come out to the streets until this bill is repealed. That politics dictating over their private homes is a step too far. Stefanie, Dekker, Al Jazeera, Moscow.